All right, what's up, guys? What's up? This is the, I think, second or third episode. We're doing the live streams here, and super excited. We did a few other streams last week, but I'm pumped. I am pumped to be here, guys. Before I jump into anything else, 3 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, all hockey season long, Monday through Friday. You can find me here talking hockey, breaking down games, giving out picks, and hopefully have some guests on as well. But these are the live streams. We're going to try and have some live streams on during the games as well. But 3 p.m. Eastern will be the live streams. In the mornings, we'll have picks on this YouTube channel. 11 a.m. Eastern will be puck time on, of course, Wager Talk TV. But this is where I'm going to come on and kind of just casually go over some stuff. And just hopefully kind of go over some stuff and have you guys commenting what your picks are, asking questions kind of about some games on that certain day. I understand that the fact is that it's exhibition. It's not even the season right now. And a lot of you guys might not want to talk about hockey when there's Monday Night Football going on. And I don't blame you. Look, I've been talking football all day long, it feels like. But I've told myself I want to get on a streak. I told myself I want to do these videos every single day, whether we get 5 viewers, whether we get 500 viewers across YouTube or Twitter, wherever it is. I'm going to be putting myself here every single day, close to 3 p.m. Eastern time. Whether we start a little bit after, that might happen. But we're going to try and be here every single day. So we have some games in action tonight, guys. Exhibition hockey got started over the weekend on Saturday. But tonight we've got Blue Jackets, Sabres, Flyers, Canadiens, Stars, Avalanche, Kings, and Utah. Yeah, I said Utah there, which felt a little bit weird to say. Yesterday, I did send out 2 picks on Twitter. We went 1-1. Unfortunately, the one I left off was the over in the Sens and Leafs game, and that one flies over. But we got a winning ticket before the regular season even started involving Utah. Yes, Utah, the nameless team, Utah Hockey Club. They win that game, come back and put a bunch of goals on the board and end up getting the job done against the Blues. But it's exciting, guys. It's exciting to have hockey back. It's cool to see that different teams are treating the preseason differently. And of course, as I have a video coming out that's going to explain kind of how to approach preseason betting and how preseason kind of goes. But, you know, for some teams, they like to stack the roster, like to stack one team. So, you know, we're only a few minutes in here and I'm already going to call out the Maple Leafs. But realistically, the teams like the Maple Leafs, they're going to be a team that's going to have one game's going to be their full roster, like they had last night with Nylander, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, all those key guys. And then the next game is going to be a lot of AHL guys. Now, some teams will separate it. They will split it. They're going to just have like half the roster one time, half the roster the other. So as you guys all probably know, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. And so tonight with the Canadiens, no Nick Suzuki, no Uri Slafkovsky, and no Cole Caulfield. The top line will be Alex Newhook, newly added Patrick Laine, and Kirby Dach, who is back from a season-ending injury. So it's interesting to see that some teams will put every guy out there that's on the main roster in one game versus some teams will split it up a little bit and they're going to just have like half AHL, half NHL, half AHL, half NHL. And then some teams will just throw a pretty much an AHL roster out there. But from a betting standpoint, guys, it's important to mention the teams with the most experience and NHL experience does not mean they're going to be the team that wins the game. Yesterday's game, Sens and Leafs, is a very good example of that. You know, a lot of times the guys that are older, they're just kind of getting the kinks out, getting the rust off, and also getting used to the coaches' systems they're trying to implement. Young guys, though, the AHL guys, are trying to make a name for themselves. So they're going to be going hard. And if you guys look at the box score for the Sens game yesterday, you know, this is a team that I didn't recognize a lot of the players' names. Oh, what's up? Vegas local. Hello, Andrew. I saw you on Wager Talks today, and you have piqued my interest. Yeah, honestly, Vegas local, it was not a good season last year, and I'm not going to hide from that. It was not a good season last year. Usually, at least the big ones are the ones that go well. We had luck actually better with the smaller plays, the 1, 2, and 3 percenters, but the 4 and 5 percenters did not really go well last year. So that's the deal. We're in bounce back mode, and unfortunately for me in the NHL, and I'll put this question up here on the screen. Unfortunately for me in the NHL, I've actually either had a really phenomenal year or it's been kind of a down year. So we need to kind of find that either happy medium or just have a huge year. That's the way we're going to go. But I will tell you guys that I've changed a few things. I have a few ideas and a few things I'm going to do coming into this season, whether it's about volume, whether it's about spots, whether it's about how I approach certain things. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this season. As you guys know, hockey is a sport that I can talk about the most. Now I got to find a way to implement that to create consistent success on a week in, week out basis. And that's why I have that early bird special up at wagertalk.com. Preseason is where you can make money. Steve-O, I appreciate that. Yeah, preseason is where you can make some money. And you're going to find underdog opportunities. You're going to find total opportunities. You're going to find opportunities where you do want to lay the chalk and bet on the favorites. So just like you hear people talk about with the NFL preseason, guys, you can make money in the NHL preseason. So the funny thing is about the preseason, like I was saying, is that a lot of times, like certain teams will dress a roster that's going to be a lot of guys playing the NHL. Certain teams will dress a roster that's half AHL, half NHL. But also one thing you have to watch out for is the home teams. So I will say this, there's going to be kind of value, quote unquote. There's going to be quote unquote value betting on these road teams sometimes because the home team's going to have that kind of extra juice. But I will say a lot of the times we are looking to bet on home teams, like with Utah last night. And you look at some teams tonight, like, of course, the Buffalo Sabres, like the Montreal Canadiens, like the Utah Hockey Club, I guess we're calling them, big favorites. So that's kind of something that I'm trying to look for. Vegas local, 2 years ago, we had a 15-0 run. We were up, I think, like 85 units a handful of months. A month, I think in like February. The 5% were on a huge streak. So, yeah, I mean, it's not something that's exciting, really, to have either a really good year or a really bad year. But that's just how it was. So we've got that early bird special up so people can make money with me in the preseason. I'm hoping people can make money with me in the preseason and in the first weeks of the regular season to pay off the cost of the full entire early bird special. That's the plan. And if you guys want to join me for the entire season, I get it. If you want to see me try and get off to a good start, if you want to see the first few months, it makes sense. But if you want to jump in with me on that early bird special, definitely hope you do. And hopefully we can make some money. What's up, Terry? What's up, Terry? Terry's been absolutely grinding on his channel as well. I appreciate Terry for having me on his channel to talk about the Habs. That was a really fun time, and that kind of got me fired up, Terry, for the season. So that was sweet. Steve-O, I know you're a huge Habs fan, Andrew. Thoughts on Primo getting the nod for Montreal? I've always had him as an over tendy. Yeah, so Primo has been a guy that he's always been dominant in the AHL. Like when he was in the AHL, he was really good. He had a lot of success. And then whenever he got called up to the NHL, he was like a different guy. Something was just different about him when he got called up to the NHL. And then last year, they had the 3 goalie rotation. Jake Allen, of course, Samuel Montembeault, and Caden Primo. And Primo was put in a lot of better situations in a lot of places to succeed. So he did have some good games last season. But you're right. Always had him as an over tendy. Let's pull up here. We're going to take a look at what the Montreal Canadiens, I've seen this tweet like a million times today already. But we're going to take a look at what the lineup is today for them. live here on the show. Let's see. One thing I'll say for you guys is that don't just follow the main beat reporters or the main reporters and the main accounts for teams. You want to follow the beat reporters. So for the Habs, I follow a ton of guys that give out information, whether it's local, whether it's writers, whoever it may be, so I can kind of get the practice information. Okay, so Newhook, Doc, Laine. Really excited to see that line because Newhook was injured a lot last year, but he still had a pretty good season. Doc and Laine both barely played any games last year. Laine played, I think, 25 games? Doc played what feels like 3 shifts before he got injured. Roy, Watt, Dvorak, Anderson, Heineman, Kapanen, ABB, Davidson, Kondatsa, and Tuck, Hudson, Savard, Jacky, Barron, Engstrom, Mayu, Premu, and Dubs. So who am I looking forward to seeing the most tonight is really the question. And I got to be honest with you, just like everybody else, I'm really excited to see Hudson, what he can do in an NHL game again. We saw him get 2 games against the Red Wings last year, but he looked great. He looked comfortable. That was kind of a meaningless game for the Canadiens. It was an important game for the Red Wings. He was flying around. But now this year, it's not just him getting called up after he was finished his college. This is him competing for a spot on the team. And I think David Savard is a really good player for him to get to play with. Savard will be kind of the guy that stays at home, that stays back, and then and you've got Elaine Hudson that's going to just kind of buzz around, fly around, and do what he does offensively. The line that I'm looking forward to watching the most is actually the second line tonight, which will be Waugh, Dvorak, and Anderson. So a lot of people know that Anderson had a really, really bad year last year. His shooting percentage was horrible. His finishing wasn't there. He was in his head mentally. He was frustrated quite a bit. And I think this is a season that he has to have a good start with. And I think that maybe you add more depth with Laine. You got obviously Kirby Dach being back, take some pressure off of Anderson offensively. But I'm very, very hopeful that he can find his offense once again. But that'll be a tough line tonight. Waugh and Dvorak and Anderson, 3 guys that are good 200-foot players that will be really effective. I've been doing a lot of video stuff today, guys. So between coffee, tea, and water, it's been a lot of that today to keep the voice feeling okay. But here's the deal, guys. Yeah, Philadelphia, they are addressing pretty much a young roster for tonight. They have a lot of younger guys out there, as you would kind of think for the road game. And Montreal, depending on where you're looking, I've seen some -160s, one -170s. This might sound crazy for you guys. I understand it's preseason. I think the Montreal Canadiens get the job done tonight. But I also actually like the under. So you were asking, I think it was Steve-O about the over. I kind of like the under in this one. I don't love it as much as I like the Canadiens to win. I understand a lot of people might be skeptical to lay chalk, to lay juice like this with a preseason game, and I completely get it. But Montreal, some books have them, -170, 170 something. But over at DraftKings, you can see -162. And if your book offers the 3-way line, which most books should offer 3-way, you can get a pretty good price on the Canadiens there to win the game in regulation time. I do think they get the job done. I think that Philadelphia is going to bring a scrappy team. It's going to be a hard effort. But I think barring any poor turnovers and tough plays in their own end or giving up too many penalties, I think this Canadiens team has a lot to prove tonight. They've got a guy like Laine that's coming to the team, hasn't played a lot of hockey recently, so there's going to be the rust factor and stuff. Same with Doc. But I also think when you look at it the other way, guys, there's the factor of this game means something to them, right? So everyone's saying, well, give Doc and Laine some time before you go after them. And I'm thinking, Well, actually, this game's going to mean more to them than it's going to mean to a lot of guys. They're going to treat it like it's a real game. So I do think the Canadians get the job done tonight. If you want to lay the -1, you can get -1.5 at +150. You can split those bets up. Because, I mean, the -1.5 is really good. It is interesting seeing a 6, though, at -105 to the over, because the Canadians are an over team. I will say that. With adding more scoring, with still having young defensemen. You got Lane Hudson out there. Steve-O mentioned Primo being an over guy. And again, Philadelphia guys, they got a lot of young guys making a name for themselves, a handful of players that I'll be honest, I don't really know. So, we could see some goals there, but part of me thinks we're going to see the Canadians buy into Martin St. Louis' system and play defensively and go towards the under there. Value on the spread then. I mean, yeah, look, +150. It's hard to argue it when you're going from -160 on the money line to the spread at +150. It's hard to say what this game's gonna be like, because I think Kapanen's gonna be a good guy as well tonight for the Montreal Canadiens. He's someone that's had a really, really strong training camp, done well in the training camp scrimmages, done well in a lot of the big opportunities he's been given. So I think he'll be a good guy for them. But when I look at the roster tonight for Philadelphia, I just think it's quite a bit of a mismatch here in this one, guys. So we're gonna go with the -1 with the Canadians, and we'll go with a lean towards the under on this one. Montreal to make the playoffs +600, a bad bet. I wouldn't say it's a bad bet. Obviously, I'm a fan of the team, but I would say if you like the Canadians like that much, I would just bet them to win a lot of games. Like, bet them when they're underdogs. If they're going to have any chance of sniffing the playoffs, they're going to have to win a lot of games that they're underdogs in. They're going to have to win some games within their division against teams like Toronto, Boston, Tampa, Florida. I mean, of course, they have to beat the teams that are supposed to be near them, like Buffalo and Detroit, maybe, and Ottawa. I think that Montreal can hang with teams like Buffalo and Ottawa. That's for sure. Steve-O says, I like the -1 over the -1.5. Play a bit safer. Yeah. And you can kind of split things up a little bit too. I do think it's interesting because the Habs have said a lot that during this rebuild, they were surprised at how accepting the fan base was of the rebuild. They were surprised by how the fan base really appreciated it. And I mean, look, Slavkovsky, you've got all these younger guys now coming through the system. And then, of course, drafting Demidov this summer. I think the fans are excited, but at the same time, at home, I think they want to put on a show, and this game they're going to try and win. So we'll see. I'm not saying this Habs team's capable of blowing out any teams. I'm really not. But I do think looking at these rosters, it's going to be a lot about that second line tonight, though. I'm telling you, Waugh, Anderson, and Dvorak. I'm really curious what they're going to do. So what's up, Aaron? What's going on, Aaron? Parlay has money line with Buffalo over. It's funny you say that. I was going to mention that over. I was going to mention that. So for what it's worth, to look at this one here, Aaron shouting out Habs money line and the over. I wouldn't necessarily parlay these two because you're getting good odds alone on that over, but you're getting near +200 odds if you're interested. So shout out to that bet there. +198 I'm seeing for that one. Vegas local, another question here. Love it. Who will win the cup? I'm from Vegas and just got into hockey this past year. Who will win the cup? Wow, putting me on the spot just like that. Who will win the cup? I'm going to go with the Dallas Stars. I like Dallas quite a bit this year. They're a team. I also think the Atlantic Division's honestly so stacked. Like, I would not be shocked to see Florida back in the mix for another year. I think actually Boston's defensive core is really strong. They're pretty good. Nashville, to me, seems like one of the most overhyped teams coming into this year with the pickup of Stamkos and Marchessault. So it's interesting. Well, you know what? Since you said that, let's look at what the odds are. Let's look at what the odds are. Um, Los Angeles is a team that I like quite a bit too, actually. LA is a team that I've always liked. And but you said that, so we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look. Vegas local, Edmonton, Florida, Dallas, Toronto, New York, New Jersey. That's the team I forgot about. Look, everything takes time, but I really do like this New Jersey team. I like their defensive core. I like some moves they made in the off season, especially adding a new goaltender. So I'm going to circle New Jersey, Colorado, and Dallas. We'll circle those teams, and I'll get you the updated odds on all those right now. All right, so you've got Dallas Stars 11-1, Jersey 13-1. See, LA Kings 22-1. Who's a long shot that we could take, like a relatively long shot? Long shot that we could go with. I'll say Kings 22-1, but the Kings have kind of been my team for a couple of years as a long shot, and that hasn't really worked out. Stellar profile picture. I'm a Bees fan. Sorry. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Look, my old man's a Bruins fan, so I get it. I agree. Jersey will be a silent killer this year. They've been growing, and I don't think they've really changed too much over the last few years, which is kind of nice. And when they have changed, they've added for the better. They haven't lost too many players. The key for them is to be stay healthy. They need their guys like Nico Hischier and Hughes and some of these skill players to be, big players for them for 82 games, not just for a handful. But I appreciate everybody for being here right now, guys. Remember, if you're watching on X, Twitter, of course, or if you're watching on YouTube, I'm here 3 p.m. Eastern every single day. 3 p.m. Eastern, especially weekdays, I should say, breaking down these games. I wanted to get started doing these streams during the preseason so you guys would know that I'm here. But during the regular season, they're going to be a lot more exciting because overnight or in the morning, I'm going to have some pick videos posted on this YouTube channel that are going to be very short. But at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to hopefully pack the chat, have you guys commenting some picks, props, sides, totals you like, and I'll go over them and we'll break them down. But we did have Aaron come in, and he mentioned the over in the Buffalo preseason game tonight versus Columbus, and I couldn't agree more with it. I really like that one, guys. We're going to make that a play for the stream today. I am right there with him on that play. It's at 6.5, and it's at 6.5 for a reason. The Buffalo Sabres have a stellar prospect group there, but they got a lot of regular players playing tonight. We'll take a look at the lineup. I'll pull it up so I can read it to you guys. But they got a lot of regulars in the lineup tonight. I think they've got a lot of guys looking to showcase their abilities. So I think they're going to be a team that's going to want to really put on a good show tonight. But let's look at the rosters here. I think I just found it. All right. So all reporters, Sarah Holland reports the Buffalo Sabres will have close to a full roster tonight against the Columbus Blue Jackets, hence why they are minus 300 favorites in this one. We got Thompson, Quinn, McLeod, Malatestin, Sam Lafferty, Peyton Krebs, Jordan Greenway, Dylan Cousins, Zach Benson, Connor Clifton, Owen Power, Matthias Samuelson, Devin Levi in between the pipes. He'll be there. So a lot of NHL. If you go through the forward group, okay, guys, you got NHL, 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 NHL. There's only one guy in the forward group tonight for the Buffalo Sabres that did not play in the NHL last season. One guy that you can look at tonight for the Buffalo Sabres that did not play in the NHL last year. So that's good to look at. What I like about tonight, or this stream, guys, and I'm still learning how to do these streams, trying to keep it light. But what I like about these streams is that we're going to be able to look at stuff together. I'm going to be researching, and I've got a few monitors. I'm going to be trying to look at stuff while we're talking or while we're live on the stream. But yeah, Dean Evison and his group tonight coming into town. It seems like evaluating is the word to use for the crew that they're bringing to Buffalo. It seems like a little bit of a mix between vets and younger players. But let's see here. They've got Cole Sillinger. They've got Mathieu Olivier. Who else? They have Tyler Peddle. They've got David Juracek. Looking forward to seeing him. Jordan Harris, old Montreal Canadiens player. I guess not old, but former. Jack Johnson will be there as the defense. Adam Fantilli. Dimitri. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be a play that I really like here, guys. The over. Evan Gardner and Jet Greaves will be between the pipes. They're probably going to split some time between that one. This is posted yesterday. And you know what? When I look at both rosters, guys, we've got a lot of defensemen on both teams tonight that are going to be pushing the pace, looking to score as well. So lately, when it comes down to NHL totals, you really need defensemen that can contribute to the offense. It's really important. But guys, do me a favor. If you're watching on X right now, or if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor and subscribe on YouTube to the McInnis Picks YouTube channel. I have a goal. I really want to get to 500 subscribers as fast as I can, and I think we can do that. So we're at I think 157 or something. We got a long way to go. I get it. But if you guys can help me out, or if you're watching on X and you don't want to head over to YouTube, just do me a favor and retweet this. Retweet the stream you're watching. That'll really help me out. One thing I've always wondered about these streams here, how does it sound when you put music on? Let's see how this sounds. If you guys can comment, let me know how this sounds. Can you guys hear this? I'm not sure anyone can hear this music. I have no idea. I'm playing music right now. I don't think you guys can hear this at all. I don't know if that's gonna work. I'd love to be able to get some music going on the streams, but of course you've got copyright stuff, and then I've got this microphone that is so good that it only really picks stuff up right next to my mouth. So that's kind of a tough thing, is because it's quality, a really good microphone, and then of course you got copyright stuff. So YouTube, I can get called out for copyright issues, but I don't think on Twitter I could. So maybe if I did a Twitter only stream, I could get away with it. We'll see. We're trying to build the YouTube subscription base. The last thing I want to deal with, guys, is getting copyright infringement and copyright strikes. That's definitely not what I want. Steve-O, do you have one account that you follow that posts a number of the starting lineups even during the preseason? No, I wish. I wish it was as easy as having one account that did that. Maybe I'll tweet out later on, closer to the regular season, some beat reporters that I follow. But I follow a bunch of. I can't even remember when I started following some of these guys, women and men, of course. Beat reporters that are just reporting stuff from practices, because this is the thing. When you've got the actual Twitter account for the team, they're not going to report all kinds of stuff from the morning skate, from the practice the day before. The main account's not going to post that much stuff compared to some of the other stuff. So you want to try and find that. Honestly, if you just search up, I'll test it right now. If you just search up Columbus Blue Jackets lineup, let's see what happens. I just searched up on Twitter, Columbus Blue Jackets lineup. This is the test. Then you go to latest on Twitter. Let's see what happens. Boom, there you go. So you got the latest guys there. You're going to be able to find things out. But again, a lot of times the team will tweet it out the day before, things like that. So that's about all I can tell you, is try and follow some of these beat reporters. But yeah, for each team, you can figure it out. For the Habs, you've got so many great guys. Eric Engels, I follow quite a bit. You've got Marco D'Amico from Montreal Hockey Now, who I really like following. There's all kinds of great follows. Habs and High Heels is a really good one as well. I love following her. She always has great quotes and great information. From the Leafs, you can follow just a lot of the Sportsnet guys and some local newspaper news writers. Aaron, shout out. I really appreciate it, man. Thanks for retweeting on Twitter. I appreciate that, man. All right, guys. How annoying was the background music? Be honest. How annoying was the background music? Because I don't want to get flagged on YouTube, but I want to play some music while I'm live on these. I don't know how that's going to work out, though. I don't want to just play this crappy instrumental stuff. Want to play some music at least a little bit. But Dallas Stars and Colorado Avalanche. Let's get into that game because I already looked at the Colorado Avalanche lineup, but I want to look at the Dallas Stars lineup. Let's see what they're working with for today here, guys. In the preseason. Let's try and make some money in the preseason, guys. Let's try and make some money here. All right. We have got the lineup. We've got Wyatt Johnston. We've got Logan Stankoven. We've got Cameron Hughes. Nice to see him out there. Colin Blackwell, Oscar Beck. On D, a lot of newer guys, newer faces. Brendan Smith, I know him. Ilya Labushkin. Lundqvist, Christian Kyrou. Goalies, Magnus Hellberg, Remy Poirier. They're fired up. They're guys. So this is a good example, I would say, as a good mix of some veteran players, some older players, some experienced players, mixed with some younger and newer guys. Looking at Colorado, we got pretty much a pick'em game here, guys, because they're throwing out pretty much the same type of lineup here. Let's get an update. I think I kind of know who the regular guys are going to be for Colorado tonight. But I'm seeing 6 as the total, minus 115 at home for the Avalanche. Let's take a look at the number here I'm seeing for the Avalanche. I think we've got a decent amount of usuals out there for Colorado. And I'm going to throw this out here, guys. A lot of times I like betting overs in the preseason. This could backfire on me because we're literally talking about a team like Colorado. Give me the under. Give me the under here. Ice X. What the F, lol, you're streaming. What do you mean? What WTF? I don't understand. What's the WTF? Screw the Stars and Avs game. What game do you want to talk about? What game do you want to talk about? Stars Avalanche. Look, guys, I like the under in the Stars Avalanche game. I think you got a lot of 200-foot players. I think both teams have a system in which they want to implement defensive hockey. And I think overall, you've got a defensive core with a lot of guys that are trying to prove something. And same thing goes for the goaltenders. Two exciting teams, but also two teams that know how to play defense, especially the Dallas Stars within their system. So we'll look at the under 6, Colorado and Dallas. I kind of lean towards the road team, actually, in that one. Just off the line being kind of weird. Minus 105. They've got some decent regular players out there for Colorado, but at the same time, if you're going to give me that number here and you're going to have that mix of youth and vets, might have to lean towards the road team in that one. Kings and Utah, like I said, I cashed a ticket on Utah last night, and I think that you look at the price of $218, the LA Kings aren't really bringing a lot of people on this road trip to Utah that are main players. This is an over we got to have circled here, guys. Everybody circle LA and Utah up and over the total for tonight. This game's going to have goals. This game's going to have power plays. This game's going to have guys scoring goals that you might not have ever heard of. But I really think this one's going to have some goals here. IceX, the only reason was because both teams screwed me back and forth a lot in that series last season. Yeah, I get it. It makes sense to me. I did like Stars tonight, but stay away. Yeah, I think in preseason it's important to pick your spots. That's a good thing with preseason, to pick your spots, pick and choose. But guys, so here I'm gonna put on the screen. All right, LA Kings, Utah HC over 6 -115, Habs -1, lean Dallas. So again, guys, I mean, I hope you all can appreciate coming on it and doing these types of streams. I'll be doing these all the time, like I mentioned. But I think that you guys got to realize that when I'm giving out opinions on all these games, there's going to be ones that I'm stronger and more confident on than others, right? So if it's a Thursday in the NHL and we're in middle October and there's 13 games and you guys hear me giving out a bunch of props and talking about different things, it's not to say that I am locking in personally with my own money 25 different bets, right? So this is a chance for us to all look at props, to say stuff we might like, but this is I'm just saying that it's not every single thing that I mentioned that I like is going to be just a bet that I am running to the window to make. Is that fair? I'm sure you guys can understand that with me. All right, let's look more at some of these. So yeah, Utah played last night, and it got off to a slow start defensively. It went down early. They really picked things up. Of course, they had an own goal. It's kind of sad. People were saying the first goal they scored in their own, or in their own arena was an own goal. So that kind of sucked. But what's kind of cool is that they won last night. Steve-O, they won last night, and you take a look at the roster tonight. You've got Kerfoot, you've got Keller, you've got Doan, you've got Krause, you've got Schmaltz. You've got a lot of these guys that are key goal scorers and offensive players that are going to be out there tonight. So based on what we saw yesterday, we saw some offensive ability. These guys want to win at home, first of all. They want to impress this new home crowd of theirs. But I also love the way they constructed this roster to play on both nights. And I think that's kind of what the Canadians are doing. The Habs play again tomorrow. I look forward to hopping on here with you guys tomorrow and being able to say the Habs got the job done. They won the game, 5-2. That's kind of very optimistic. But then tomorrow, Slavkovsky, Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and a couple other guys, of course, are going to be out there. And they're going to hopefully get a chance to try and win both home games. So that's what Utah is trying to do. They're trying to win both. Isaac says until they get another name, they're going to be the Yotes to me. It sounds like the name is going to be the Utah Yeti. That's what I heard. Apparently that's what it's going to be. So not 1,000% sure. And then to just get back to Steve-O's question, when I'm looking at this LA Kings roster right now, it's a lot of young guys. But I think it's a lot of young guys that can score, a lot of prospects and a lot of younger guys. The thing is with LA is they've been a team that haven't really they like to give time for their young guys to develop. So they let a lot of younger guys play in the AHL probably longer than most teams do. They send players back to juniors and to, college probably more than other teams do. So I think this game is kind of featuring a lot of prospects and younger guys. They're looking to make a name for themselves. So I like goals in a lot of these games tonight here, guys. Just 4 games tonight, but hopefully Montreal gets the job done and they win out. Obviously, when you're laying -160, if that is what we end up doing, then you're going to hopefully get the job done. If I do end up releasing them as a client bet, I will be really small on it, like a 1 or 2% play, because it is the -160. The overs, the Blue Jackets and Sabres, Utah and LA, and then kind of leaning towards the under in the Stars game and a little towards the under in the Canadians game. But at the same time, I could see easily see 3-1. I could see 5-2, 5-3. So we'll stay away. And small lean towards the road team in the Dallas and Colorado game. All right, once again, guys, if you're watching right now and you want all of my plays in the NHL season, get my full NHL season below wt.buzz/am. If you are not interested in the full entire season, you can see below your screen there. You get all 3 days of the all plays for the next 3 days for me, NFL, MLB, NHL preseason for $39. Use that promo code AM39, AM39 to get 3 days for the price of one. 1 day is regularly $39. You can get 3 days for the price of one with that promo code AM39. That's going to do it for today, guys. Let me know. Hopefully you're coming back tomorrow. Hopefully you guys come back tomorrow. But you guys know where to find me. 3 p.m. Eastern every single day. Let's talk. And let me know what you guys want me to talk about. Whether you can tweet me, whether you comment below. Let me know which games or teams you want me to dive into. We're streaming. And I will always be committed to this. I'm going to try and grow it. We're going to try and grow the brand quite a bit. But all my best bets tonight, NFL and NHL, wagertalk.com. Cheers, guys. See you next time.